how did you? Because there's been a million people ask me like, how do you get onto Survivor? And you must get it.
Yeah.
So how do you? Is it just about how do you just stand out?
Well, for starters, I think having Lockie there helped. He was in my application video. He'd been on the show twice, so you've already got an in there. That definitely helps. But then you have to stand out. So the application video that you make, if you're wanting to get on a Survivor, has to be look at me. And there's going to be hundreds of thousands of these applicants. Why does your application video stand out? Mine was at the top of a mountain where there's like a glacier right next to me, and I said I'm going to win Survivor because I can climb this mountain. I wanted to do it with my budgie smugglers because that would definitely stand out, but it was so freaking cold that I couldn't get my stuff off. But yeah, like Lockie did his base jumping. So he was like doing his application video and then he just jumps off a cliff.
Yeah, right.
So that for them is like, far out, this guy's going to make TV. Yeah. Like that's really interesting. So you just have to give them a reason as to why you would put eyes on their screens. That's the reason. And yeah, when I got through the next stage, they asked for a headshot and I did it with my shirt off because I've got Survivor on my chest. It says mum in pink ribbon. She had breast cancer, and then Survivor. So I did it without my shirt so they could see that tattoo, and they were like, "Oh, what's this?" And it sparks interest, and then build that emotional side of the backstory, I guess.
Yeah. How is your mum?
Mum's good. Yeah, 8 years clear and clean from cancer, which is really good. That was a trying time. I'm not sure if you've ever experienced anyone close to you having breast cancer or any cancer for that matter. It was just tough, man. Seeing someone you love so much just going through chemotherapy and radiation, it was just brutal, man. Yeah, and it obviously affects the person. Like mum was in so much pain and agony, but like everyone around you, your whole life just changes. It's such a long period of time as well. It's very difficult to stay optimistic and to stay positive in those moments when like it's just all really, really tough. My poor auntie at the moment, she's got cancer and it's terminal as well. So yeah, that's pretty tough. And like I can't imagine how my uncle feels, man. Like I've obviously heard from my auntie and our entire family there, but my uncle, man, like he's such a vibrant person. He's just so happy-go-lucky, always smiling, and I just can't imagine how he feels, man, all the time at the moment. It's brutal.
Well, the guy that I had, I did a podcast with Giuseppe just recently, and his son has cancer in his leg, and he's 15 years old, and you just it's just so fucked.
It's so fucked, man.
You just can't believe how bad it is. Like, and everyone, I mean, I've been blessed in the sense that no one close to me has had it, but obviously we know people, but it's just such a awful thing. And it's just very common, I guess. Like so many people have been touched by it in some regards, and especially when it's young kids and stuff, you just it's just brutal. But yeah, anyway, I'm glad your mum's doing better. Like it's tough, you know.
Yeah, she's good, and like we spoke about before about how the tough moments can sort of
positives,
shape you and look at positives. There was a time where mum had lost all her hair, and we were sitting around a table, and I'd been talking about wanting to travel, but like growing up in Perth, you don't really travel. Like sometimes you might go to Bali or something like that, but like I grew up, it was never big trips. And I always said, I want to go to Europe. She's like, she never really pushed it. She never really encouraged it. Yeah, she never really jumped at it. And then I remember sitting around the table. I get goosebumps every time I like to say this.
I actually saw you get goosebumps.
Yeah, every time I remember that I can hear her words, man. She said, "Alex, like, I can never forgive myself if this happens to you tomorrow. So, like, you do what you want to do for the rest of your life. I remember she had these like brochures for Europe, and she went and got them and put them on the table in front of us, and she started looking at it with me. And I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks later, I booked my flights to Europe for about 6 months' time. And like my life from that moment has been so different. Sure. I was stuck I wasn't stuck, but I was in Perth. I was in a routine of just going to footy, going to study and going to work and things like that. And it was just like a circle. It was just going round and round and round. And it was like good. And I think that's important, routines and all that. But without that moment, I might not go to Europe. I might not move to London later. I might not travel to Mexico, I might like, then it's just completely different. And not that it would be more worse, it's just different.
Yeah.
And that's very interesting to me that a moment like that can shape the rest of your life so drastically. And as much as I would never wish for anyone to go through what my mum went through, I feel like there's been positives that come out of it.
Yeah, and definitely. I think, that's the skill, isn't it, really? Trying to find those positives in these awful things. And like you say, it's that sliding doors moment that, it then pushed you on a different direction.